तो समस्त लाइव सेक्शन में जोड़ी जातु तो स्नाक होई पड़िया तो थिला कि a dash is a collection of data that is stored electronically and series records in a table. ए होची एक नंबर हबो 3 होची database. Database is a collection of data. Database is a collection of data that stores electronically as a series records in a table. So records in a table. The records in a table. तो database हबो कौन हबो ना database हबो database common database a collection of integrated records as called 2 number हबो database a collection of interrelated records in called database collection of interrelated which of the following is the organized collection which of the following organized collection of large amount of intellectual data stores mainly you to use manipulate and तो 3 नंबर होची कब ना database हबो which of the following is the organized collection of large amount of interrelated data stored mainly way to use for manipulation आउट होची कोन अपडेशन ए database items such as name or the address yeah items such as names and address are items such as names addresses considered as data the items such as names address are considered as data so what that's the data which type of database organized so which type of database as organized the data in from tree with nodes the 5 number question is to hierarchical database को जाए hierarchical database which type of database organize the data in the form tree with nodes that's the hierarchical database the database stores information in rows and columns what the rows and columns the database store information blocks tracks structure all of the not that's the rows and columns to locate data item for storage is to locate a data item storage is field feed database fetch what a locate data item for storage is field database feed fetch what the 7 number हो 7 and 4 fetch FETC what the fetch comma na fetch the locate of data item from storage is fetch. Device that could used to input data into a database are device that could be used to input data into a database are the device that could be mouse, keyboard, touchscreen. Device that could be used to input data into database. The input device are mouse, keyboard, touch, screen. Mouse, keyboard, touch, screen. Mouse, keyboard, monitor, not keyboard, fox, not. The mouse, keyboard, touch, screen. So in a relational database, a data structure that organizes the information about single topic into rows and columns. What? In a relation database, data structure that organizes the information about a single topic into rows and columns is table. In a relational database, data structure that organizes the information about the single topic into rows and columns is table. What? That the table data structure होता है. Data structure that organizes information about single topic into rows and columns is table. The smallest unit of information about the smallest unit of about a record database is called field. The smallest unit of information about a record database is called field. The smallest unit of information about a record, not cell, not record, not query. That's the field. Only field are destined items that do not have much meaning to you in given context. Dash are destined items that do not have much meaning to you given context. Fields queries data, none of these properties. What? The 11th fields. What? The fields. Fields are destined item to have most meaning due to given context. A collection of related files is called record. What? Record. A collection of related files is called what? That's the record. Which of the following content? The which of the following contains information about the single entry in the database like a person, place, event, or things. What? Record. What? That's the record. Which of the following contains information about the single entity in the database like a person, place, event, or things? Record. DBMS is compromised tables that made of rows called dash as columned as records and fields. DBMS is comprised of tables that made of rows colored the columns of records, fields, records, columns, and fields. Records, columns called field. What is the store? Store question about the information in database. Query. What is the store question? What is the store? What is the score question? What is the stored? What is the store question about the information of database? Store question query. What? That's the query. A program that generally has more user-friendly interface than DBMS is called form. A program that generally a program that generally has more user-friendly interface than DBMS is called form. Which of the following object is a contents database? All of these. Which of the following following object is a content in database? Second number is all of this. Table from query. Table from query. Table from query. Seventeen 4. The next is 2. What is the 2? So I would like which of the following object is a content in database? 17 is which of the following place the common data elements in order for the smallest and largest? Which of the following place the common data elements in order from the smallest to largest? Smallest to largest. Character, field, record, file and database. The record character first, field second, record third, file fourth, fifth database. C, F, R, F, D. तो किमी मन रखियो ना फास्ट सी रखियो तापर एफ रखियो तापर आर रखियो तापर एफ रखियो तापर डी रखियो कैरेक्टर फील्ड record file database CFRFD. That's the smallest to largest database elements. What is the overall from the creating, editing, formatting, storing, retrieving the text document? Database management. What is the overall term of creating, editing, formatting, storing, retrieving text document? What is the overall term of creating, editing, formatting, storing, retrieving text document? Database management. Editing, formatting, storing, retrieving text document. Database management. The database administrator function is an organization is to be responsible for the technical aspect of management information contents in organizational database. The database administrator function in an organization to be responsible for the technical aspect managing information content the organization database. The code that relational database management system to perform their database tasks is required to SQL, the code that relation database management system used to perform their database tasks is referred to as SQL. What the SQL? Relational database management system used to perform their database tasks referred to as SQL. DBMS helps to achieve data independency, centralized control of data, centralized control of data, centralized control of data. Which of the following is not a DBMS software? Database 2000, DBSA, FoxPro, Oracle. Not DBMS. In which database can stores up to last consistent after the system failure? Recovery. In which database restored up to the last consistent failure? The recovery. Dash provides the total solution, reduce data and equation deficiency, authorize access data. Protection password. What the protection password? Protection password. Protection password provides total solution to reduce data redundancy, inconsistency, dependency, and unauthorized access of data. Protection password. Redundancy, protection password. Period the adding, the changing, the deleting file records is called as 76. Updating. Period adding, changing, deleting file record is called updating. What? That's the updating, not upgrading, renaming, restructure. That's the updating. Architecture of database management can be viewed as three levels, total three levels. Architecture of database management can be viewed of three levels: a collection of concept tools, describe data relationship, sometimes contains refer as data model. Gas is one reason for problems of data integrity. Data availability constraints. The data availability constraint is one reason problem of data integrity. Dash means that data contained in a database accurate the reliable. Data integrity means that's the data contained in a database accurate as reliable. That's the reliable. Which of the following contains data description and defines the name, data type, length, each field is each database? Data dictionary. So which of the following contains data description and defines the names, data type, of length of each field in the database? Data dictionary. Which of the following contains data description field define the names, data type, of length each field in the database? Data dictionary. An advantage of the database management approach is data integrated and can be acquired multiple programs. Data integrated and can be accessed by multiple programs. An advantage of the database management approach is data integrated. And which of the following is drawback of DBMS? Complexity. Which of the following is the drawback of DBMS complexity? Backup recovery. That's the not backup. Backup recovery. Not backup recovery. When data changes the multiple list, all lists not updated. This cause data inconsistency. That is called data inconsistency. Which data changes multiple lists and all lists are not updated. This cause data inconsistency. Data duplication waste of space but also promote more serious problem called data inconsistency. Data inconsistency. A logical schema is the entire database is the standard way to organize information into observation. Describe how to data actually store in disk. All of the above. 56 has 2 is standard way to organize information into accessible world. A logical schema. So logical schema. Dr. FE code represent dash rules that database must have to be considered truly relational. 12. Dr. EF code represent 12 rules that database must 12 rules. Relationship can divide into relationship all of them, one to one, many to many, one to. This one can divide all the above. An entity set does not have sufficient attributes from primary key is weak entity set. In ER diagram, relation type is represented by diamond. Represented by diamond. What represented by diamond? ER diagram. In ER diagram, attributes are represented by ellipse. What? That's the ellipse quadrant. Now ellipse. ER diagram attributes are represented by ellipse. In ER diagram, enter the set represented by a rectangle. ER diagram is a rectangle. An ER diagram is graphical method of presenting binary classes and their relationships. Which database language is used access to exciting database? DML. What? The DML. Which database language is used to access data exciting database? The DML. Key to represent relationship between the tables is called origin key. Key to represent relationship between tables is called primary key, secondary, composite, originary. That's the originary key. Dash is an invalid type of database key. Invalid. What is it? Physical key. Primary logical origin. The physical key is primary key of one file that also appears in another file. Primary key to one file that also appears in another file. The particular field a record that uniquely identity each record is called dash is the invalid type of database key. Structure primary key. 47 3 origin key. Dash an invalid type of database key. Structure structured key. What the structure key? So hello brother, that is the structure key. Dash is the invalid type of database key. Structure primary key. Dash is the primary key of the file that also appears another file. 45 are 3. 45 3 not physical key is origin key. Origin key. Origin key. The origin key. Origin key is the primary key of the file that also appears another file. Origin key, not physical key. The origin key. The particular field in the record that unique identity each record is called the primary field. What? That's the primary field question. Primary field. In which of the following database is used? Banking, sales, finance. Database used banking, finance, all of these. A database that contains tables linked by common field is called a database that contains tables linked by common field is called a relational database. A database that contains tables linked by common field is called relational database. A database contains tables linked by common fields is called relational database. Oracle is an 36 RDBMC. Oracle. The conditional property of relationship refers to the number of rows. The cardinality property as relationship refer to the number of rows. Rows of a relationship are called rows कहले थाड़ी भी बुझाए. The rows of relationships are called tuples. Rows of relations called tuples. A set of possible data value is called 39 question are 39 for domain. A set of possible data values is called values is called domain. In the domain name use हुए Gmail रे. First domain name. Same thing. The purpose of the primary key in a database is to uniquely identify a record. The record. The purpose the primary key is the database is to unique identity. In case of entirely integrative, primary key may be not null. In case of entirely integrated, the primary key may be not null. Implies there is key associated with each record which is used to differentiate among the different records. For every file there is at least set of keys. Unique such as key is called primary key. In a file there is key associated with each record which is used to differentiate among the different records. For each file there is at least key such key is called primary key. Which of the following type of tables constraints will prevent the entry duplicate rows होची 43 हे जो कोन ना 1 primary key. What? That's the primary key. Primary key have which of the following type of tables contents will prevent the entry duplicate rows? Primary key. Which of the following that tables they contribute will prevent entry duplicate rows? Primary key. The particular field records that unique identity each records is called primary field. Dash is primary key is one file also appear to another file. The for is in key. 45. And for primary files that also appears to another file. So thank you ladies and gentlemen. Episode भल पाइ देथिबारु तो नेक्स्ट वीडियो देखाबो. Love you.